So when you think mechanical engineer, what comes to mind? Is it someone in the lab coat sketching out the next big supercar? Or maybe they're building some kind of crazy world-changing robot? Yeah, that's kind of the Hollywood version, right? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and look at what it really means to be a mechanical engineer, day in and day out. So let's get into it.
So what do they actually do all day? I mean, this is a career that literally shapes the physical world around us. But the day-to-day reality, it's a wild mix of brilliant, creative problem-solving and, let's be honest, some not-so-glamorous hurdles. We're going to walk through the dream, the reality, and of course, the huge rewards of this incredible field. All right, first up, who are these people? Let's just try to get a handle on the sheer scale of this profession. A good rule of thumb is, if something moves, a mechanical engineer probably had something to do with it. Seriously, they're basically the architects of all the machines that make our modern world go round.
Okay, so here's the textbook definition. But the word I want you to focus on here is creative. That's key. See, this isn't just about plugging numbers into formulas. Not at all. It's about taking the fundamental laws of science and math and using them like a creative palette to invent, to design, and to build real solutions to real-world problems.
And the canvas they get to work on, it is absolutely massive. I mean, we're talking about everything from the car you drive to the planes you fly in. They design the tiny, life-saving medical devices that go inside our bodies and the giant space satellites that connect our entire planet. Robots on the assembly line? Yep. Even the HVAC system keeping you comfortable right now? That's them too. Their work is, quite literally, everywhere.
So, how does an idea actually go from just a scribble on a napkin to a real product you can hold in your hand? Well, in a perfect world, there's this really elegant logical process that engineers follow. And you know what? This is the part of the job that gets all the glory.
It all starts with research. You're asking the big questions. Is this idea even feasible? Is there a demand for it? Then you dive into the design phase. This is where your ideas turn into these super detailed digital blueprints, usually in some kind of CAD software. Step 3. This is the fun part. You get to build a real prototype and see if your design can actually survive in the real world. And finally, if it all works, you oversee production, making sure everything is built to spec. It's a really powerful and, honestly, super satisfying process.
But yeah, that's the textbook version. That super clean, 4-step process, that's the ideal. The reality of where an engineer's 40+ hours a week actually go, well, it's often a lot messier. This is where expectation and reality have a head-on collision.
And wow, this chart right here tells the whole story. Just look at this breakdown. The core engineering stuff, the actual problem solving and thinking that we all picture, that's less than 1/3 of their time. So what's the other 2/3? Well, it's a whole lot of documentation, admin tasks, meetings, just trying to find information and planning. Get this, over 20% is just paperwork. So here's the big takeaway from that. For a lot of engineers on the front lines, the thing that really grinds their gears isn't some impossible physics problem. Nope, it's the bureaucracy. It's the endless meetings that totally could have been an email. It's the tedious documentation, the constant fight for resources, all that stuff.
And you can really feel that frustration in this quote from an engineer on Reddit. That feeling of doing the same thing over and over. It isn't just about tweaking a design to make it perfect. It's about dealing with all the feedback, the last-minute requirement changes, and all those administrative hoops you have to jump through that send you right back to the drawing board, again and again and again.
Now, of course, not every engineer's day looks like this. There's a pretty big split in the profession, right? On one hand, you've got your desk engineers. They're living in the digital world of computer models and simulations. But then you have your field engineers. These are the folks out on the factory floor or on a construction site, getting their hands dirty and solving problems as they happen, in real time.
Okay, so you might be thinking, if the job is packed with all these non-engineering challenges, why on earth would anyone do it? Well, it's because the payoff, both in terms of the impact you can have and the money you can make, is absolutely worth it. Let's talk about how all this hard work builds into a seriously rewarding career. For starters, a degree in mechanical engineering isn't like a key to just one door. It's more like a master key to an entire building. The career paths are just unbelievably diverse. You could be a design engineer, a manufacturing engineer, you could go into aerospace or even biomedical, you could be a systems engineer or even a sales engineer who acts as that crucial bridge between the people who make the tech and the people who use it.
And yeah, the pay definitely reflects that high demand. In the US, you're starting out really strong, with an average salary right around $77,500. That is a very solid foundation to build a career on. Then, as you get some experience under your belt and maybe specialize in something like mechanical design, you can expect that number to climb pretty fast, pushing up toward that six-figure mark, close to $98,000.
And for the real veterans in the field, the people who stick with it for 15+ years and move into senior or management roles, we're talking serious money. $135,000 or even more is pretty common for folks with that level of expertise and responsibility. The long-term potential is just fantastic.
But look, as this quote just nails perfectly, it's not all about the money. The real driver for so many engineers is that unique mix of challenge and fulfillment. I mean, it's one of the few jobs where you can literally point to something out in the world, a bridge, a car, a medical device, and say, I helped build that. I made a real difference.
All right, so we've seen the dream job, we've seen the messy reality, and we've seen the incredible rewards. Now let's turn the camera around and point it at you. What does it actually take to not just survive, but to really thrive as an engineer today? Look, having strong technical skills, that's just your ticket to get in the door. That's a given. But if you want to win, you have to be a lifelong learner because the tech is always changing. You need killer project management skills to slash through all that red tape we talked about earlier. And, maybe most importantly, you need resilience to bounce back from setbacks and an almost obsessive attention to detail.
And really, this is the bottom line. The old stereotype of the lone genius engineer locked away in a lab somewhere, that's dead. It's over. Modern engineering is a team sport, period. Your success isn't just about how smart you are. It's about how well you communicate, how you collaborate, and how you solve complex problems with other people. At the end of the day, the biggest challenges facing our world, from creating sustainable energy to exploring the stars, they're just getting more and more complex, and they all require physical solutions. They all need machines. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready to be one of the people who builds them?